God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
It's near a geographical formation known as Sears Point. This raceway is one of several road racing venues on the NASCAR schedule. Here tonight, live from the Sonoma Raceway, it's the QSR Simulations Chase for the Cup. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Been with you all season long, and another great show here for week number 4 of the season. Actually, I believe we're on week number 5. I might be a little bit confused there. Yes, week number 5, Sonoma. First road course on the schedule will be going to Watkins Glen just a little bit later down the road, but looks like maybe my date's a little bit messed up here as well. We'll get that fixed as well, but for now, based off of what we have in the point standings, those are 100% accurate. A 99-point lead right now for Alan Dobbs over Quentin Stewart, who worked his way up to the second position. A great showing there last week at Chicagoland. Looking to do the same here, one of his favorite racetracks. But the spread to the points is over 300, all the way back to 10th position. So pretty big there for Alan Dobbs. But then it gets a little bit tighter there between 3rd to 5th position, where only separated by around 50 so points. And over the course of this season, that can progressively get even worse as Alan Dobbs continues to have week after week where he has a good showing. So we'll have to wait and see how he performs here tonight. That in itself, it speaks dividends for the season that he's had. And Quentin Stewart, for I think maybe the first time here, is challenging and made up a lot of points here in this season. So we'll have to wait and see if Quentin Stewart can get it done here tonight. Maybe take a sizable gap off of that lead. Let's look at our race analysis. 40 laps here tonight. Pit road speed limit at 45 miles per hour. 2 green-white checkers available, 3 tire sets. That's the one I really want you guys to pay attention to, because it's going to be rather difficult to save tires, especially in this Generation 4 car with all that horsepower trying to connect it to the road and on this asphalt with all the transitions and the fact that it's very hot and slippery out here tonight. Stage caution will be at lap 20. Of course, we're on the iRacing Fix setup with 100% fuel. Track map, 1.99 miles, 174 feet at the high point of this racetrack. So up through the S is very, very high up on this place. And so they'll make that hill climb and then progressively come back down that hill as they go through the final stages of 11 corners of this racetrack. 12 turns officially on this. And we will look at your grid now, starting on the pole here tonight. Jesse Gordon with a 1:16 flat. He will start on the inside of Galen Wunsch in the 199. Row number 2 belongs to Alan Dobbs, points leader, just about 7/10 off there. Daniel Molnax will start in the 4th position. 5th goes to Quentin Stewart, number 24, about a minute off that pole. Bobby Joyner will start his outside. Glenn Walker and Stephen Go, and then it rounds out the top 10 with Grayson Witherspoon and John Kelly at number 96. Pace car getting out of the way. 6 more cars left to show on this grid. Tanner Medford, Eric McMurchie, Joshua Lindhorst, Bowers will round out your field. Here we go for race number 5 of season number 3. The QSR Simulations Chase for the Cup is green flag and racing at Sonoma. Track already. There's a 55 of Joshua Lindhorst. Trying to keep rolling. Turn 3. Car around back there, that's Grayson Witherspoon. Falls back to 13th position. And another car just in front of him, that was John Kelly. There's some problems here for the 38 of Daniel Molnax as well. See, Gordon is going to come around and lead lap number 1. Dalen Wunsch already having some problems in the back of the field. Go back here and let's see what happened to Daniel Molnax in the 38. Like heavy contact with the 30 of Waylon Turner. So one more time here. A check up here, maybe through the S's. Yes, the 96 pops an engine. John Kelly done for the day. Didn't even get to complete a lap here tonight. And that puts the 38 of Molnax in a bad situation here. About 23 seconds on the leaders. Quentin Stewart has passed 1 position up already. Starting in 5th, getting a good start here. Working his way through the S's. Let's take a quick on board here with the 24 car. So you got to get around Sonoma. Steep uphill S's. You can see how he sets the nose for that second part of that corner. You want to be careful not to tag the rumble strip at the exit there. And now we're going through another portion, the blind hill here. Very difficult. And you want to be late on the throttle on the downhill. Now, probably the hardest braking point is this next corner right here. You're on the throttle for quite some time. It's not quite a 90 degree, it's a little more than that before the S's. And now you're floating the throttle, just trying to keep this car stable back and forth. A lot of weight distribution, a lot of transition in this car. Suspension working overtime into the second to last corner, onto the brakes, and now probably the most technical part of the racetrack right here. Just trying not to overshoot this and lock up the front end. That's a lap around here with Quentin Stewart. Jesse Gordon has pulled his lead out now to over 2.5 seconds. Looking back at Galen Wunsch in the 199, you can just barely see him transitioning over those hills. Actually lose sight of him here for just a second. It's a pretty sizable gap in just 4 laps. Jesse Gordon. This race car on the track, though, is the 22 of Alan Dobbs. So he is caught up to Galen Wunsch. She's about half a tenth faster last time by than both Jesse Gordon and Galen Wunsch. We'll have to wait and see if Alan Dobbs can continue this momentum and make a pass on the lead before this stage is up. Lap 20. We're back here in 5th spot, Ronnie Joyner. And I don't know who painted that car, but I like it. Gotta get a good look at this one. Nightmare Before Christmas machine. My wife's not much into NASCAR, but she loves Halloween. She'd probably be watching that. A good-looking car on the racetrack for Ronnie Joyner. He's currently being scored in the 5th spot. So far, quiet night. Unfortunate, though, for his teammate, the other Venom Motorsports driver, the 38, Daniel Molnex. Now, he has worked his way back towards some positions. He's back up to 9th here, chasing down Christian Rockriegel. The Rockriegel top 10 day. He started in 14th. With all the confusion and chaos through the S's in the later half of the racetrack on lap 1, Rockriegel picked up a lot of ground, a lot of spots. He's going to continue to carry this Ford Fusion towards the top 10 day. Bryson Witherspoon had an off track earlier. He's back on pace here. A little bit of problems though. Leader running 116, Bryson at a 123. So a little bit of issues here and off the pace, but just trying to keep this thing on the asphalt. The main focus here tonight after starting in 11th back to, or starting in 9th rather, back to 11th position. Joshua Lindhorst getting the damage repaired. All this happening, John Kelly officially out of this race. Looks like Lindhorst probably not going to have much better luck. He stands to gain 1 spot on John Kelly. But for Joshua, it's a long, long repair. 5.5 already on pit road. There's Tyler Bowers. And a throwback, looks like Caterpillar Ward Burton era. Dodge style and Intrepid. Murchie coming down pit road. Looks like some issues for the 48 car. Heavy damage on the right side of this machine. He too is in a Nightmare Before Christmas machine. You can see the whole right side of that caved in. We'll have to go back and see if we can find what happened. Derek McMurchie. The replay here. Not sure. Maybe he makes a mistake in the second to last corner here. It snaps free on him and into the tire barrier. And a tremendous save there to not pick up any more damage. Unfortunately, he's going to have to bring it down pit road and try to repair some of that. It looked like he only took about 15 seconds in the box there, so he just came in and got 1 set of tires. He's going to carry on. Alan Dobbs and Quentin Stewart have caught up to Galen Wunsch, about to have a battle for second. Wiggly loose there for Wunsch. Dobbs continues to chase him down here. Look to the inside through the hairpin. Wunsch locks it up a little bit there on the high side. Just on the left side of him. He's going to lose that spot. Now the battle for the lead. 1.5 seconds shaved off there on Dobbs, but overall 5.4. The lead continues to grow. Jesse Gordon in another time zone. Now coming through turns 6 and 7. Only thing he has to worry about right now, that's a lap traffic. And Stewart going to navigate by Tyler Bowers. These are the closest battles on the racetrack right now. That's amongst second through fourth spot. Hobbs pulls away a little bit more this time. The lead has went stagnant. It's actually came down just a little bit here. Hobbs was a tenth faster last time by. This time around, identical lap times. Jesse Gordon able to put it down, but keep an eye there on the left-hand side of your screen. There's plenty of laps to do it. The fall-offs on these tires. Seconds. Dobbs has been rather consistent. Jesse Gordon ran a 1:15.9, and Alan Dobbs has stayed in the 1:17. He's been the most consistent based off of lap times right now. See him there in the background, now under 5 seconds. Maybe a little mistake here for Gordon. Race Ellingson. Hey, Eddie. Nice try. I think Eddie Smith's been working on V-Speed on the YouTube more than I have lately. But here tonight, Bradley Cooper up in the booth. I'd like to welcome you in. Ray Ellingson, welcome in. Watching QSR. Chase for the Cup, Season 3, race number 5. Jesse Gordon, Alan Dobbs, Galen Wunsch, Quentin Stewart, and Ronnie Joyner, the top 5. Galen Wunsch has since maintained about a 1.5 second gap here to Quentin Stewart. Stewart continues to try to chase him down. Laps completed. Jesse Gordon comes by for lap number 11. That lead continues to dwindle down to under 5 seconds. 4.7 this time by. Dobbs just a tenth faster that time around as well. So lap traffic becoming a factor again. Get by. I believe that's the 11 of Bryson Witherspoon. Eric McMurtry, who had to come down pit road a little earlier than he wanted to, still trying to manage and mitigate for this stage when they reset, trying to stay within a free pass position, but off track here for the 48, still struggling. A lot of problems here at Sonoma thus far for the 48 team. There's the guy that's got the worst end of the stick didn't even get to complete a lap here today. 11 laps down now for Joshua Lindhorst. 4.5 seconds now. Alan Dobbs continues to shave away about a tenth of a time. Oh, we've got a car off the racetrack. That was Witherspoon right in front of the 22 of Dobbs. Throttle a little too soon, and unfortunately 22 is going to lose a little bit of ground because of that checkup. The race lead goes back over 5 seconds. See how surprising it is. Right on board with the 22. Just come up over the hill and suddenly a car across the racetrack long ways. All that ground that the 22 had made up, it's all for nothing now. It looks like Jesse Gordon probably, unless he has a mistake in front of him or makes a mistake himself, most likely going to win this stage at lap 20 and maintain this lead all the way through and every single lap thus far. But for Alan Dobbs, he had some traffic to navigate through. Get another chance at the restart, but it seems like for Dobbs, his car really doesn't come on until about 6 or 7 laps into the run. Stewart trying to shave the time back down. He's got it under a second now to Galen Wunsch. Continues to shave a little bit of time down. Danny Wonex, he's worked his way back up to 7th now. Still has 3 spots to gain to get back to where he started. He'll have an opportunity here with the reset on that stage caution to get back to where he began this race. However, you know, early incident Wonex got caught up in. Was able to get the car turned back around. Derek McMurtry officially behind the wall now. Out of the event. There is Wyatt Walker. Haven't said his name yet today. Started at 7th, currently running in 8th position. Through turn 12, across the line. With Waylon Turner, Christian Ruck-Regal just behind. Actually, that's the very damaged machine, the 60, but Ruck-Regal labeled as the 33 on your ticker. He's one of the cars that got caught up in that incident, as well as Waylon Turner. Go by of Jesse Gordon. Hot traffic becoming another factor here again for the 10. So a really good line through that hairpin for Jesse Gordon. It looked like just hugged that rumble strip and those tire barriers all the way through there. Unfortunately, on the iRacing simulator, those tire barriers do not move. So if you clip one of those, you're going to get damage, and most likely the car is going to come to a stop. You have to be very careful not to get snagged or get a hold of those. So for me, I've never understood, as far as the simulator goes, one of the most realistic sims, online sims, why those barriers don't move. Hopefully someday we'll see that added. There's your second place driver, Alan Dobbs, who started in third. He has the lead shaved down to 4.4 seconds. And in the long run, Alan Dobbs showing that he is probably going to be faster than Jesse Gordon. It's just a matter of, can he make up that ground that Gordon puts on him in the early 5-6 laps before that car comes on. I also have to factor in that mistakes can be made with lap traffic. We saw that earlier where Dobbs had got the lead below 4 seconds, down to 4 seconds, and then got caught behind the 11 of Witherspoon. So I have to wait and see if anything else goes on. But based off of speed and lap times right now, Alan Dobbs has the goods to compete with the 10 who's led every single lap thus far. 3 to go on the stage. There's Galen Wunsch, who's maintained third since losing second spot where he began this race. Quentin Stewart slowly chipping away at this now for about 10 laps. Keeping the pressure on the 199 here. Going to look to the inside. A little mistake there by the 199. Here is the opportunity with lap traffic. Wunsch off the door of the 24. They're going to stay side by side through the S's. Able to complete the pass here. That was definitely a sketchy moment for Quentin Stewart and Galen Wunsch. Wunsch come back on him there. It doesn't look like it. He's going to lose about half a second. Might have used up his stuff there, just trying to maintain that second position earlier in this race. Joyner just now coming through the hairpin. He is 25.5 seconds back and makes a mistake through the exit. Picks up some left front damage. Slight miscalculation there on the tire barrier. And still some handling issues here. The 00. Looks like he might have knocked the toe out of that car. White flag in the air now for Jesse Gordon. The lead stretches back out, and Alan Dobbs has lost a lot of time here. Have to go back one time here and see if Dobbs had a mistake somewhere. Not sure that we're going to find it. Lead continues to grow for Jesse Gordon. The stage will officially end when 10th place crosses that line. this stage, Jesse Gordon is going to claim race number 5, stage 1 winner, the 10 car here at Sonoma. Traffic to come all the way back around. You're seeing here Waylon Turner just now crossing that stripe. Wyatt Walker is actually the last car on the lead lap here. So the stage yellow probably not out yet. It's going to take a minute here for these guys to cross the line back around, and we're probably going to go one more. Officially, unofficially, with the top 10 ticker on the left-hand side of your screen, it looks like these positions going to stay about the same here. In the lunge back on the bumper of Quentin Stewart. Another moment here for Stewart as Waylon Turner's to the inside. Gordon comes by. I guess maybe we announced that too early. It would be right at the end of lap 20. So it looks like he's going to hold on to the 3rd spot, and there's the caution now. So there's your top 10, and we'll put the graphic back up officially. Jesse Gordon getting stage 1. Pit stops will definitely happen here. To see these drivers take 4 tires and top off of Sunoco race fuel as they drive all the way around this long 2-mile road course to catch up to that iRacing pace car. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on B-Speed. More coverage will continue. Sonoma Raceway, QSR, right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Record live from Sonoma Raceway. QSR Chase for the Cup. Season number 3, race number 5. Stage 1 winner, Jesse Gordon. He's going to come off of pit road with the lead maintained. Alan Dobbs, Galen Wunsch, Quentin Stewart, and Daniel Molnix back up into the top 5 here. Ronnie Joyner stayed on pit road to get some of that damage repaired. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and I'll be with you all season long, flag-to-flag coverage here for QSR. The race recap and look at the points here real quick. You can see that 99-point gap back to Quentin Stewart. Ronnie Joyner, who's in third, will probably lose a little bit more to Alan Dobbs, who's been running in the top 3 all night. Quentin Stewart looking to try to stay ahead of Ronnie Joyner. He will probably do so, but for Quentin Stewart, he needs to make up a lot of ground here. He's sitting in the 4th position, and Alan Dobbs had checked out over 10 seconds on him before that stage break. The spread pretty substantial all the way back to Ace Dillard in the 20th position, 803 points. That's probably the biggest margin we've seen the spread between first and second here at QSR since we began broadcasting their races back in 2022. Lights are going out on the iRacing pace car, and that means that we're going to get set back to go green. While we have an opportunity here, we're going to pull Quentin Stewart. QSR CEO Quentin Stewart, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
Well, we see what you've done here to shrink and mitigate some of the points there on week number 4. You had a great race at Chicagoland, but here tonight, it's been a little tough. You've had some lap traffic that you almost got involved with. What's it going to take here to get up towards that top 3 spots?
Well, I've really got to get around whoever ends up in third here pretty quickly. Once it gets stretched out, I know Jesse is going to make out a pretty sizable gap. So I need some clean air, and we're going to try to make up these spots and see what we can do, man.
Well, Quint, we're doubled up. We're getting ready to go green. Anybody you want to shout out real quick before we let you go?
I got to thank all of our staff here at QSR. They do a great job every single week. Got to shout out V-Speed as well. It's been an awesome season so far. Ready for more great nights with you guys.
We appreciate your time, Quentin Stewart. Good luck. Been set back to go green here. Jesse Gordon going to be the command car on this restart. On the outside of the 22, Alan Dobbs, your points leader. Jesse Gordon having a phenomenal day so far. Let's see if he can hold on to this commanding lead. 23 laps led. About to be 24 when he crosses that stripe to take the green flag. Back underway at Sonoma. Oh, and contact up the hill. Already issues. Gonna hold on to it though. And quick work for Alan Dobbs. Galen Wunsch gets loose in the background. Galen Wunsch goes around. And not happy with that. Let's unpack all of this all at the same time. Let these drivers come around. This is a battle still for the lead. Jesse Gordon all over the back end of the 22 of Dobbs. Expected to do it that way, and a missed shift there for the 10. Jesse Gordon makes an error in the final corner, snaps the car sideways and loses a ton of ground. He falls back to Quentin Stewart. up the hill. Trying to find an angle of this. Wasn't quite contact. Looks like the 10 was basically a mistake. Moving back here at the 199. He gets in the back of the 10. This is where it just snaps free on him. Later on down the road, though, this battle went on for quite some time, but later on down this road, 10, Jesse Gordon is going to make a mistake. We'll have to find the best angle we can look at it from any number of cameras here at Sonoma, but I think the best one's going to be TV2 across that stripe. Maybe this will be a better one. We'll have to wait and see. It's a little loose there across that line. As we go back to the live shot, he has lost about 8/10 faster through the first few laps. But Jesse Gordon, since burning that tire off across that start-finish line, looks like he's fallen off a lot quicker than he did in the first run. So, might be the product of let's just try to salvage the day after leading the first half. He'll have the most laps led. Doesn't look like he's given up just yet. How about that? Early problems, lap 1 has come back to 4th spot. He's back to where he began this race, comfortably running behind Quentin Stewart. What a recovery for the 38 car. Lonnie Joyner, solid 5th place, got that damage repaired. Hopefully can keep that car off the wall. Keep this thing in 5th spot. He had fallen back to 7th. 5 cars off the racetrack. Waylon Turner, Christian Rodrigo, Tyler Bowers, Derek McBurgey, John Kelly. We have Joshua Lindhorst, who's still on pit road for about 36 minutes here after the engine pop. Battle for the lead heats back up. Pushing each other to run 1 minute 16-second lap times, a full second faster than Quentin Stewart here. Laps led for this guy, and he wants that lead back. Only 11 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Certain portions of this racetrack that Jesse Gordon just a little bit quicker than Alan Dobbs. Unfortunately for him, they're not really positions to pass on. There's not very many locations to cleanly get around a guy. This is one of the most notorious spots. Almost makes a mistake there. Really close to that tire barrier. He's maintaining this gap and keeping the 22 of Dobbs honest. 3/10 there through that portion of the racetrack. Another run here out of the exit of turn 6. It's way later on the brakes. Looks like he's going to drive away as well. Excuse me, Gordon was later on the brakes through that entry. Dobbs was able to trail brake and get a good exit. Touches the grass here through the S's. That's a slight little mistake as well. I don't think we've seen the end of this lead battle. We'll wait and see, though. We're right at that window where the 22 started to make up ground on Jesse Gordon. Although it is a little bit different when you have the guy in front of you. You can kind of mimic his line or maybe change yours accordingly to make up for that. By for 10 to go. Through those first 2 corners, Dobbs loses a little bit of that time, but then makes it up. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to make that mistake? You have to be focused every single time. Those marks perfectly. Identical lap times again. 1:16.5, 1:16.6. John Dobbs and Gordon. Quentin Stewart back here in third. I say back here, he's up in third. But he's back here because he's 6 seconds away from Jesse Gordon. These two have checked out. They're running a full second faster than the rest of this field right now at the minimum. Quentin Stewart is the 3rd fastest car, and it makes sense because he's running at 3rd. Daniel Molnick's having a handful. He's 2 seconds off this lead pack when it comes to lap times. Money Joyner running in 5th. He's in the 118 bracket. Stephen McGough started in 8th, 2 spots gained. But a quiet night here for the 83 car. A little bit of damage on the right front. Looking to bring it home in the top 10. That's almost a guaranteed top 10. Galen Wunsch still on the racetrack here. I'm really surprised that the 199 didn't come back out there. The leaders come by for lap 33. Jesse Gordon get back up to that rear bumper through that portion of the racetrack. We've seen that a couple different times. He's going to get back up here again, right up on the camera. Looking for any opportunity here. Almost presented itself right there. Charge on the back of Dobbs. Gonna look for a spot here into the hairpin. Say hello to the camera one more time. Coming by for lap 34. This battle for the lead continues. He's gonna get the run again up the hill. Good as last time. Quentin Stewart in the backdrop as these drivers exit the S's. Within range if these two get into each other, but it looks like Dobbs is now in that transition of where these tires have taken over. He might just pull away with the lead here. A full second almost as they come off the hill. Time to go. Next time by. Jesse Gordon, who led the first 23 laps and won the stage, makes a mistake on the restart after being the command car, and the 22 of Alan Dobbs takes over the point. See if Lieutenant Jesse Gordon has anything for him. He shows little glimpses of speed in certain parts of this racetrack, but it just looks like through the second half, the second portion, especially through the S's, these flatter parts, hasn't had quite as much for him. This is where we almost saw the pass for the lead. He's going to look again. This is where he's really good, but it's the rest of this racetrack here. A little contact. He's going to get in the back end of him. The car off the racetrack here. It's the 55 of Lyndhurst, who just is a beat-up race car here. Back out on the racetrack to gain one spot here. But if you're Quentin Stewart and a few of these others that are having to navigate around him, you might want to communicate with him, because that was almost a race ender for both the 22 and the 10. Shot on the runway a little bit there for the 10. He's going to lose some ground. I think we had problems with the 55. Don't think that Joshua Lindhorst is going to be back out on the racetrack again. Here's why. Yeah, you got to lock that down. I'm just going to come out and say it's not too often that I show my bias on V-speed, but you got to lock that down. That is a very rookie mistake for the 55. And speaking of rookie mistakes, right here in the hairpin, the 22 of Dobbs almost gives up the lead here. That puts Jesse Gordon back in the hunt for the lead with 3 laps to go. One little mistake through that hairpin corner, and the 22 has it back in this rear bumper. opportunity presents itself again here for Jesse Gordon to try to take it back. Quentin Stewart right now, he's just trying to salvage his day. This car very beat up. He actually has to come down pit road for an overheating issue. He's going to put 4 fresh tires on it, but with 2 laps to go, not the way that Quentin Stewart wanted this race to go. And you can tell he's not happy. To go. Little mistake for Gordon. Dobbs made a mistake earlier in the hairpin. They've been matching blow for blow here, but no change for the spot. You know when the white flag comes out, Jesse Gordon's going to give it one last go on every single corner, wherever he can find an opportunity. Dobbs and Gordon for the final corner. Check there on the inside. Nothing there. Good defense by the 22. White flag in the air one last time around here at Sonoma. They've been within half a second of each other since the green flag came back out on lap 23. Alan Dobbs tries to hold on, has a mirrorful of the 10 since the beginning. Little mistake there for Jesse Gordon. It doesn't look like he's going to have anything for him here unless Dobbs makes a mistake in this final section. The S's one last time. Dobbs through the final 3 corners. For Alan Dobbs and the number 22. Nightfall Graphics PDI machine is going to be victorious here today at Sonoma in race number 5. First win of the season, if you can believe that, in the QSR Xfinity, or in the QSR Chase for the Cup Series. Winless here. After all the laps that he's been leading and races he's gotten top 5s in, runner-up in almost every one of those top 5s. Really gets it done here tonight. One lead change here today. Jesse Gordon, of course, getting the stage. To come back around and celebrate here. And Yomolnex is going to get a top 3 here today. This race interviews with your top three, and we're going to have those final results. We're going to round up that information. You're watching the QSR Chase for the Cup live on V-Speed. Our coverage continues right after this.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Back here live from Sonoma, the QSR Chase for the Cup has concluded its 40 laps at Sonoma Raceway. Race number 5 has concluded. Final results up on your screen. Alan Dobbs, after starting in third, he took over the lead on the second stage of this race. He will win over Jesse Gordon, who led the most laps here today and started on the pole. Daniel Molnex is going to get a top 3. Ronnie Joyner and Stephen Mongo will be your top 5 here tonight. Wyatt Walker, Quentin Stewart, unfortunate day for him after starting in 5th. Came in, got some tires, repaired some of that damage, enough to get it home here today. Shouldn't lose too much here to Ronnie Joyner, should stay in that second position. Bryson Witherspoon will finish in the 8th spot with Galen Wunsch in 9th. Galen Wunsch put it behind the wall there after making a mistake on the second restart there. Galen Turner, in a top 10 day. Christian Regal will finish 11th. Tyler Bowers in 12th. Derek McMurtry will come home in 13th. Tough day for him. Joshua Lindhorst, problems with him here tonight. Lap 1, also issues after he got the car back out on the racetrack. Total driving distance for the 55 was about 6 miles. John Kelly, 15th position, and Tanner Bethia will round out your field here today. So with that, you have to bring up your top 3 drivers. We're going to start out here with your 3rd place finisher, Daniel Molnex, in the number 38 machine. Daniel, I know that this race could have went a lot worse. I know you had problems on lap 1. You turned it back around, worked your way back up to 7th, put yourself in a good situation after pit stops. You come home with a top 3 finish.
Yeah, it should have been 4th, though. I hate it for Quentin. I wasn't really watching relative too much, but I think he was catching the leaders a little bit at a time because I know they were racing so hard for 20 laps. And then the spotter's talking about caution, and I come out of the hairpin and I see a lap car sitting sideways in the middle of the track. I'm like, oh man. And then I get past him and I seen Quentin, and he front end was ripped off of his stuff, so I hate it for him. But yeah, started in the back and got caught up in that lap 1 deal back there, and drove up to 6th or 7th, somewhere in there, before the stage break, and which was fine because that kind of put me where I was originally, qualified, and just kept it under me, kept it on track, and um, like I say, I hate it for Quentin, but my name's Jimmy, and I'll take what you give me. So it's fine with me.
Well, in the situation there with the stages, it kind of helps here, especially when we don't have cautions. There's no full course cautions and admin only for that stage break. So,
Mhm.
even with the scenario putting you back up there into the top five, it was hard earned. And even though, yeah, maybe you don't feel like you deserved a third place finish, you definitely deserve to be in the top five.
Oh yeah, well, and that's all I was really shooting for tonight was just the top five. I knew I knew Quentin was quicker than me, and those front two, I mean, they were gone. Um, Really, the only chance I had on them was just to take each other out. But even then, they were so far out they could have got back on track and still finished where they were. So, um, yeah, starting in the back, and I was just shooting for a top five, but I'll definitely take a top three.
Well, Daniel, while we have you up here in the booth, is there anybody you want to shout out for tonight's performance?
Galen Wunsch, me and him, all through practice, we were trying different things, and I was able to pick up quite a bit just in practice, and it carried over the race. I just wasn't able to keep it on the long run. But yeah, shout out to him and the rest of Venom. And um, again, V Speed, y'all put on a great show week in, week out. Uh, and that's really all I got.
We appreciate it, Daniel, and we look forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Third place finisher here tonight at Sonoma, Daniel Monex in the number 38. Now it's time to bring up your second place finisher, Jesse Gordon. Jesse, I know this one probably stings a little bit here, but walk us through. You led the first half of this race. The car seemed really fast, especially those first 10 laps. Was it just that mistake that made you maybe push the car too hard, or did the track change? What happened there on that restart?
Yeah, the track changed. Even me and Alan were talking about it. It was strange. It felt good the first stint. You had a lot more rear grip, and yeah, I was able to manage my tires a little bit better. And then on that restart, like I took off pretty conservative. I felt like, and then it just was spinning. Shifted early even, and it was still spinning. So yeah, it was crazy. And then by the time we got to that first little left-hander before we go up the hill, it was tight, and the car is a little loose and almost lost it right there. So luckily saved that, got behind, catching back up, and then made obviously that dumb mistake down the front stretch, got loose again. And then I had to really push the car hard in order to get back up to him. And at that point, he was getting such good exits, I couldn't get him. So yeah, it was tough. Tough battle for sure. He was consistent, his marks. He made one little mistake, but I wasn't close enough to capitalize.
Yeah, we saw the mistake there through the hairpin that put you back into it there with 3 to go. But, you talked about some of those mistakes that you had, but you also had a couple opportunities. There was a part there around lap, I think it was 33 or 34, where you got to his outside and I think it was turn 6. You were right up on him. How difficult was it just to complete a pass or even get to him, get to his outside or inside?
Well, it was okay catching him. I could catch him, but once I got to his back bumper, my vision was obscured, of course, by his spoiler and his bumper, and I couldn't see the apexes of the corners anymore. So I almost had to kind of guess based on how he's turning in. And yeah, it was tough. We made a little contact at 7, and that was exactly why. I was right on his bumper. We turned in, and I got too far on that curbing, just trying to see the corner. I was just trying to turn down a little bit sooner so I could see where the apex was, and ended up halfway on it. So then we got together because it like bounced me almost into him. And yeah, it was luckily he saved it, and we kept going. I was just trying to pass as clean as possible, and that was the tough part. Is once I got to his bumper, I couldn't see and hit my marks as cleanly, and ultimately that's why he was able to get the good drive off and hit his marks.
Well, you come out of here today after leading the most laps, starting on the pole. You got a stage win as well. Pretty phenomenal day. All in all, you battled for the lead. You made Sonoma interesting for me up here in the booth. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah. I've ran this track in real life before. It's one of my favorite road courses. I live, 8 hours or so away from it. It's doable, but yeah, that's why I really try to pride myself in racing this track and hitting the marks. And yeah, it's just tough when you're in second. There's difficult places to pass, only a couple options. So, but I'd really like to thank you for putting on the broadcast, of course, Quentin for putting on the series. Congrats to Alan and obviously Molnick's top three, and my sponsors, Pink Cheeks Tanning Salon, Amsoil, Creative Tires, Davis Trenching, United Window Tint, Empire Motorsports, and my team, HBM Motorsports.
Jesse Gordon, second place here at Sonoma. We look forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
And finally, that brings us to Victory Lane, where we have Alan Dobbs. First victory of the season. I went back and looked at that statistic 3 times because I didn't believe it. But this is your first win here in the QSR chase for the Cup side of things.
I'm glad to talk to you in the winner circle finally.
Yeah, I've talked to you several times. You've led laps. You've been up front. This one finally came together for you.
Yeah, I really didn't expect it to. Jesse was obviously the class of the field tonight. That little mistake he had on the restart where I was able to get around him, I wouldn't say it necessarily sealed the deal because he had 110 opportunities to move me out of the way if he wanted. But, props to him. Shout out. He raced extremely clean, super respectful. Even when he got into me, he could have taken advantage of that and passed me, but he let me gather it back up. So, shout out to him. He definitely should have won this one, I think.
But you come out here on that little mistake there on the restart. Did you feel like the track had changed? So he made mention that it felt like it had changed and that the tires grip wasn't quite the same as it was in that first run.
Yeah, it did seem like it had gotten a little bit looser, which, with the time advancement, maybe it had, maybe the track temperature had rose. I don't think I actually took note of it and checked, but yeah, I did notice there was a little bit more, seemed like a little bit more track temperature or something.
Well, Alan, you come out here victorious. You finally put one in victory lane. Is there anybody that comes to mind you want to shout out in this broadcast?
Yeah, just, shout out to all the admins here that put this on for us. Come out and race for free in a really good and competitive league is not super easy to find. So shout out to all those guys, all the hard work they do. All the guys at QSR Racing, you guys for the broadcast. We appreciate it. I like to watch them back every week. You do a good job. Shout out to my lovely wife. She gives me some amazing good luck kisses, and they work out way more often than they fail. So props to her.
Well, they paid off this week. Make sure you return the favor as well. Alan Dobbs, congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
That'll do it for us here from Sonoma. Hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have plenty of racing left to go. Of course, ignore the dates here. Next time we'll be going live will be on the 10th of October, not the 10th of September. So that's a mistake on my part. I'll be sure to fix that for next week. But for everybody here at QSR, makes this show possible, Quentin Stewart, Ronnie Joyner, the admin team. This is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great weekend. We will see you Friday night. The final race of the Track Champion Series, and then it's SNR Challenger Series and SNR Cup and Sunoco Cup Series Sunday. Until then, everybody, stay tracking. We'll see you next time.